Okay, let's dive right into Esther chapter 10.
Yeah, it's short, just 3 verses.
Exactly, but it gives us this really potent final snapshot. We see King Xerxes and, maybe more importantly, Mordecai's lasting impact.
Right. It kind of wraps things up by looking at the mechanics of the empire and the legacy of these key people.
And straight away, it hits you with Xerxes' authority, even after all that drama.
Uh-huh. The source says he imposed tribute throughout the empire to its distant shores.
It's a bit grounding, isn't it? Reminds you that beyond the court intrigue, this massive empire was still running.
Absolutely. Funded by tribute from all over. Collecting that across such a huge area, that's serious administration.
It really puts the personal story we've followed into that broader imperial context.
And then, right after establishing the king's power, the focus just snaps to Mordecai.
Yeah, it's quite the shift.
The text is crystal clear.
Yeah.
Mordecai the Jew was second in rank to King Xerxes.
Just think about that for a second. From, well, essentially a gatekeeper
An exiled Jew, yeah.
to the second most powerful person in that entire empire. That's incredible.
It really is an almost unbelievable rise. And his role wasn't just symbolic, was it?
No, not at all. Second in rank implies real, practical power, especially in the administration we were just talking about.
But the text doesn't just leave it at his title. It tells us why he was important, particularly for his own people.
Right. What does it say specifically?
It says he was preeminent among the Jews and held in high esteem by his many fellow Jews
Okay.
because he worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all the Jews.
Ah, so that's the key. It wasn't just about having the position.
Exactly. It was about how he used that position.
For the actual benefit, the welfare of his community, you can see why they'd esteem him so highly, especially after the threat they faced.
Definitely. To have one of their own, right near the top, actively working for them. That must have been huge.
It really makes you think about leadership, doesn't it? What makes it meaningful?
Well, yeah. The chapter seems to define his greatness, not just by his rank, but by his actions and his positive impact.
His political clout was kind of validated by his dedication to his people's good.
And the source underlines the significance of all this: Xerxes' power, Mordecai's rise, his actions.
How does it do that?
It asks, basically, aren't all these things all his acts of power and might? And the full account of the greatness of Mordecai?
Yeah.
Are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Media and Persia?
Ah, the official records. Okay.
Right. This isn't just like a footnote. It's pointing to the state archives, the official history.
So it's like saying, look, this wasn't just some minor court affair. This stuff mattered enough to be recorded by the empire itself.
Precisely. It puts Mordecai's story, his rise, and what he did right into the grand narrative, the official history of this ancient superpower.
Okay, so wrapping up this look at chapter 10, we've got the empire ticking along under Xerxes, collecting tribute,
Yep.
and Mordecai, secure as second in command.
But the lasting image isn't just the rank.
No, it's that esteem he held among his people because he used his power for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that this was considered important enough for the official chronicles.
Hmm?
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about. What does it signify when these kinds of actions working for the welfare of others are the things deemed worthy of the official historical record?
Yeah, it leaves us with a question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does this brief chapter suggest about real leadership, about leaving a legacy? And maybe what actually gets remembered in the long run?